I've been dealing with the rise of the tribulation period and the rise of Antichrist. You and I understand from reading in 2 Thessalonians chapter number 2 that the Antichrist cannot be revealed until there is a great falling away. And I began yesterday dealing with the fact that the globalists are pushing to remove two tremendous concepts. Number one, the nation state. And secondly, the influence of Christianity. It is my opinion that the one cannot be separated from the other. The concept of the nation state, we learn that in the Bible, because especially in Old Testament history, we have the truth, the concept presented to us of the nation, a nation called the nation of Israel. Now there are other nations that are identified in the Old Testament scriptures, but it is clearly pointed out separate and distinct nations. We have the nation of Egypt in the Bible, the nation of Israel, we have Syria in the Bible, and so on. We have Greece and Rome, Italy and the Grecian Empire, and the nation of Greece in the Bible. So the whole concept of nation states is a biblical concept. So that is built upon the principle of Christianity. It comes out of the Bible. Now, a global governance, a one world government, if you please, is not possible during this time of the world being under various and sundry nation states. As long as there are various nations in the world, it is not possible that a one world government, a global governance, could be set up. So the concept of the nation state has to be removed. But you can't remove the concept of the nation state and leave Christianity, because the concept of the nation state is the product of Christianity. It comes out of the Bible. In order to remove the concept of the nation state, you also have to remove Christianity. Now, the globalists are in a hurry to see this done. They're in much more of a hurry since God has allowed Donald Trump to be elected as the President of the United States. Mr. Trump has occupied himself with trying to dismantle the deep state and trying to dismantle this concept of a global governance. So there are other tools that the globalists use, and one of those is this matter of mass migration or mass immigration. We face that here in the United States with the hordes that have come up out of Central America and South America, and Europe has faced this with the hordes that have come up out of Africa and out of the Middle East. And in Europe, because Christianity was already in a weakened state because of the propagation of secularism, and during the Cold War, during the time of the Iron Curtain, Christianity was, the attempt was made to remove Christianity and replace that with the religion of secularism. The government, a socialist government, is God. You pray to a socialist government. And secularism is a tremendous attack on Christianity. Secularism and Christianity do not abide in the same setting. They are diametrically opposed. They are one in opposition against another. Well, this matter in Europe, by 2017, public celebrations of Christmas had sparked controversy in virtually every European country. Across Europe, Christmas markets and festivals that had been held for generations and even centuries without issue were being renamed. Among them, the Amsterdam Winter Parade, the Brussels Winter Pleasures, the Kreuzberger Winter Market, the London Winterville, and many more. Some Christmas markets were canceled altogether after a terrorist struck Berlin's Christmas market, killing a dozen and injuring 50 more. In Munich, ads for the Munich Winter Festival featured a snowman wearing an Islamic burqa. In Madrid, the ex-communist mayor ordered the traditional Christmas festivities to be replaced by an international fair of the cultures, quote, unquote. From Norway to Italy, where children even in recent years sang Christmas carols and engaged in other traditional celebrations, Christ is quickly being banned, generally under the guise of diversity and not offending Muslims. If we're really interested in diversity, Christ would be left in Christmas. And if you want to celebrate some other winter festival, then we will be diverse and let you celebrate your winter festival while we celebrate our Christmas. But then those that are always talking about diversity are the least diverse among us. It's good to be a Democrat. If it weren't for double standards, Democrats would have no standards. Nativity scenes, crucifixions, and Christmas parties were no more. After a school in Milan renamed its traditional Christmas celebrations, quote, the Great Festival of Happy Holidays, end quote, one of the local political leaders spoke out against the politically correct leftist policy that deprives children from their traditional festivities. The word Christmas, a symbol of our faith and culture, does not discriminate against anyone, quote unquote, said politician Samuel Piskina. But of course the ban on Christmas celebrations remains in place. Others are working to Islamize Christmas literally. At the All Saints Church in Kingston on Thames in the United Kingdom, for example, a flyer announced a service, quote, marking the birthday of Prophet Muhammad and looking forward to the birthday of Jesus, quote, unquote. The celebration, blasted as Chrislam, quote unquote, by critics, included time for Islamic prayers. In the United Kingdom today, more people attend mosques than the Church of England, which was Britain's dominant religion for centuries. A recent survey cited in multiple media reports found that 930,000 Muslims attended a place of worship at least once a week, while just 916,000 Anglicans do. Islam is also considered the most widely practiced religion in the Netherlands. And across Europe, Islam is the fastest growing religion. According to a survey by the Pew Center, while estimates on the exact numbers across Europe vary widely, old churches are being turned into mosques at a dizzying rate, just as happened in the Middle East. And Muhammad is now the most common baby name in cities and countries across Western Europe, including the Netherlands and the United Kingdom. Meanwhile, governments are urging people to get used to it. In Sweden, a tax-funded TV ad created by a government-backed charity, quote unquote, called Individual Mankunskap, individual relief, informed Swedes that their old country was never coming back. Translated to English, the slogan for the campaign is the new nation, quote unquote. There's no way back. The ad begins as multicultural faces, including a woman in Islamic burqas, rotate across the screen. Sweden, quote, will never be like it was. Europe is changing and Sweden is needed as a safe place for people who seek refuge. It's not only new Swedes that need to immigrate, everyone needs to integrate, even established Swedes, quote unquote. A Somali Muslim with an Islamic head covering is shown as the face of, quote, the new country, end quote. In Germany, an advertisement encouraged German women to cover their heads with an Islamic style outfit as part of, quote unquote, tolerance. Now, my opinion is, why don't the immigrants tolerate us for not wearing an Islamic head covering? In Germany, an advertisement encouraged German women to cover their heads with an Islamic style outfit as part of tolerance. The ad shows a woman from the back dancing to Islamic style music while wearing an Islamic outfit. The words, quote, Turkish women wear the Islamic headscarf, quote unquote, appear on the screen. And when the woman turns around, it becomes clear that it is a blonde German woman. Quote unquote, me too, she says, about wearing the Islamic head covering. It's beautiful, quote unquote. Then she says, enjoy difference, start tolerance, quote unquote. What these poor, miserable people don't understand is that Islam is the most intolerant of religions in the world. It is the height of intolerance. When viewers are told that the ad was made in cooperation with UNESCO, the UN agency in charge of education, culture, and science, Muslims themselves have openly boasted of their intentions. Quote, we will give them fertility. We will breed children with them because we will conquer their countries, quote unquote, boasted one imam, Sheikh Mohammed Ayed, at the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, in a videotape speech calling on Muslims to migrate to Europe and, quote, trample them underfoot, end quote. Quote, whether you like it or not, you Germans, Americans, French, and Italians, and all those akin to you, take in the refugees, for soon we will call them in the name of the coming caliphate. And we will say to you, these are our sons, quote, unquote. In fact, many Muslims see migration to spread their religion as an act of religious devotion, with the Quran telling them that, quote, whoever immigrates for the cause of Allah will find on the earth many locations and abundance. Now, it's my estimation that these things are transpiring, and what I'm reading to you has already happened. I mean, this is a matter of historic record. It is my estimation that these things are transpiring now, here at the end of the church age, to set the stage and prepare the way for the rise of the man of sin, the son of perdition. It's my opinion that what we've been dealing with is the apostasy, the falling away, that is dealt with by the Apostle Paul in 2 Thessalonians 2. By the grace of God, I'll continue with this on the program tomorrow.
Bright Spot Hour, Post Office Box 4, Greenville, South Carolina 29602. This is Mark Ferguson inviting you to hear the Bright Spot Hour again tomorrow.